Good morning and welcome to Legally Speaking with attorney Antoinette Osbourne. This program is for information purposes only. If you need legal advice, you can contact me, Antoinette Osbourne, at 718-502-9137. That's 718-502-9137. The office focuses on divorce, immigration, bankruptcy, real estate, and estate matters. We also do eviction proceedings. There is a second office in Jamaica, West Indies, that focuses on legal representation. If you're looking to buy or sell property in Jamaica, or if you are looking to wrap up an estate. So, good morning, Suzette. Morning, Nicola. All right, so this morning I wanted to focus on the fiance. Hi, Amarilda. Good morning. All right. So he says, happy Bob Marley weekend. One love from Brooklyn. All right. So this morning I wanted to focus on the fiance visa. But before I do that, let us just look at the backlogs that are being cleared up by USCIS. So last year, and this is just 2023 alone, and this is why people are complaining their cases are taking so long. Last year alone, USCIS received 10.9 million filings. And by the way, USCIS is hiring. So if you know anyone who is looking at job, spread the word. They are hiring. And sometimes it's nice to go into the interviews and you'll see the different officers who are naturalized citizens. You hear the accents, and it's nice to see island people taking up some of these positions. So if you know of any of your friends who possibly will meet the qualifications, encourage them to apply. But honey, they are working. 10.9 million filings, and they cleared up, they reduced the overall backlog by 15%. This is a major move, right? For people who have been waiting on cases, you will be very much aware that now what is happening is the recent file cases are proceeding quicker than the cases that were filed from eons ago. People have been waiting long, child. But for those of you who are filing your cases now, trust me, it is moving, right? So I'm so happy about this. And of the applications, you know that we have a lot of border crossers, so they're able to interview 100,000 refugee applicants. Of course, it's only 60% of them that got approved, and they completed, I think it's 52,000 asylum cases. This is great. They're in fact moving, and this is absolutely fantastic, right? So we have to give them their props, because especially for the cases that are recently filed, they are moving. The backlog is going. And last year alone, they administered 878,500 oath of allegiance. So that means that we had that much people obtaining their citizenship. So like this is fantastic. They are processing, and come April 1st, with the raise in fees, what you are going to realize is, yeah, people probably can get raised now, hopefully. I'm telling you, I complain about this possibly every Sunday. Things in the supermarket have gone up by, I swear, 100%. You remember back in the day, $100 could I get to like a whole trolley, or I think they call it cart here, of food? That's not happening now. Yeah. So we have to be grateful. They are, in fact, moving. So this is fantastic. All right. So I think Michelle is saying good morning. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Matt. Let us go ahead and hold on a second. So someone sent a text. They said, "Good morning, Antoinette. What can a parent do now if she added one of her children to her deed several years ago? She'd like to remove him, but he's refusing to sign. And I've warned you all about adding children to deeds. She'd like to remove him, but he's refusing to sign. Thanks in advance for your advance." All right. This is where you have to be so careful. And even your own children will fail you. And I know personally, I caution parents against this. Some of them are willing to take themselves off totally and put their children's name on the deed. That to me is like, what? Yeah, for some parents, I try to encourage them retain a life estate in the deed. You'd be surprised that one child, especially when they go ahead and they get that spouse. Yeah, because the spouse is realizing that, look, I'm like, he's 50% owner. So even if it's not joint tenant to the right of survivorship where everything automatically goes to that child, they get 50% right off the bat. So a lot of children are not going to be interested in taking themselves off the deed. Absolutely not. And you made an outright gift. You want him to come off, he's not willing to come off. What's going to happen is you're going to end up in court. Yeah. And you're going to end up in a partition action trying to prove convenience. And you better be able to prove convenience. Yeah. Otherwise, you've made a gift. And this is what you get stuck with. And this is where you hear me hit out against going ahead and adding your children to your deeds. Yeah. This is something weird. You have to be very careful with, right? And sometimes it's that same child because of a mortgage, or they're not going to come off. They don't have to wait on a will. You've made your outright gift during your lifetime. And you just have to be so careful. You're adding these kids to your deeds, you know? It's not something that I encourage. Yeah. So Suzette said the man with the fiance, he didn't want her. Well, I'll tell you this. I said to her, all right, so you're both here. And I said, what type of visa you brought him on? She goes, the fiance visa. So I was like, wow. I'm like, I said, why the fiance? And she said, I purposely chose the fiance visa just in the event that he started acting up and something like this would happen, because she knows she's the only way for him to get a green card, right? And this is why sometimes your spouses, and it could be because of someone else's experience, or it's a family member who went through hell. So people are more careful now, right? Especially where your marriage is not long and that other spouse is clamoring for a financial gain, right? So, all right. So someone says, are you in the city at Suzette Law? Seems high for a studio. 3,000 for a studio. Wow. Is that Manhattan? That's rough. Yes, Amarillo is saying single people have to work 3 times as hard. Yeah. And that's why when sometimes people come to me for their divorces, and to me it just seems like so meritless that you're looking to divorce. It's Sunday. So I'll use the acronym BS. Like stupid things. Stupid people are breaking up their families for nonsense. And yes, I understand that sometimes you have to get a divorce. You don't have no choice. You really have to divorce your spouse. But if you're divorcing your spouse thinking that it's greener on the other side. You are going to have a wake-up call when you actually reach to that other side, right? All right, so let's go into this fiance visa, the cantankerous visa, the visa where you have to have manners. Yeah, when your hand in the land mouth, you really and truly take your time, dry it out, right? Someone says, "Good morning, Miss Osborne. Can you tell me how long it takes to get back your passport after your interview at the Jamaican embassy?" Um, One, I would hope they would have registered for the courier service to pick up the passport. You have to register for that, and the embassy would have given the necessary instructions. It depends on what the embassy is doing. It depends if they are investigating or it's just like their standard procedure, which you can get back that passport within, I think, 2 weeks to possibly, I would say, 60 days. All right, so let's get into the fiancé visa now. I'm telling you, no joke with this thing. Okay, they have to be a fiancé of a U.S. citizen. One time, one of my girlfriends called me and she's like, "Oh, her brother is gonna be filing for his fiance." And I know for me personally, I sometimes know the intricate details of my friend's life. And I'm like, a fiance visa, he's a green card holder. So she's like, so I'm like, so that means he can't do it. You have to be a US citizen to have a fiance, right? All right. They have to seek to enter the US solely to get married. So anyone coming on a fiance visa, when you read CBP and what's the purpose of your travel, you're coming specifically on that fiance visa, that K1 visa. You should be saying, "I'm here to get married to my